Welcome to this webinar, CRM Systems. My name's Neil Wilkins. We're going to be talking about probably one of the most important considerations conceptually in marketing that a lot of marketers kind of almost sort of leave by the sidelines. And it is one of the key concepts in marketing, CRM, customer relationship management. Just think of those words and it hopefully will inspire you to think, yeah, this is about long-term value. Yeah, this is about kind of working with our customers to build relationships so that the value is on both sides. And if we set up some kind of system, some kind of way of managing the customer relationship management, then we have a process or a system and hopefully some tools available to be able to show and demonstrate the value over a considerable period of time. So this is really, really key stuff. This is really, really important. And did you realize actually that in your organization, particularly if in a sort of medium or larger size organization, your employees, according to Zendesk, will switch apps and interfaces more than 1,100 times a day. And that is actually hours in theory of clicking between programs, dividing attention, copying and pasting information. And of course, every time something isn't within a synchronized single system or platform, it can get compromised, it can get manipulated, it can get changed, it can get deleted or, incorrectly input or edited. So the concept of CRM is really quite profound, really, in terms of data sharing and information sharing. And if we can get this thing right, there's a huge opportunity, really, for all of us in marketing, communications, sales, finance, and actually other areas of the organization to really be consistently managing the customer's relationship using a series of systems and processes and technologies so that we can be providing measurable value over a significant period of time. So really, actually, when you think of it conceptually, what is not to like? This really has a significant potential benefit on the organization, as well as obviously the customer. So CRM itself, and I'm just going to call it now CRM, the abbreviation for what we're talking about here from this point onwards. I mean, in essence, really, it's a technology for managing all of your company's relationships, excuse me, and interactions with customers and, of course, potential customers as well, so prospects. The goal is simple, and this is a quote from Salesforce.com, improve business relationships. That really is what we're talking about here. So a CRM system helps companies to stay connected to customers within a streamlined process, and ultimately, and of course, this is the big deal maker, improve profitability. Because if you've got the right kind of customer data within your CRM, if you're managing it consistently, the right people have access to it, then what you're doing is you are using data in such a way to inform decision making. So you can focus in on where the most profitable customers are. You can be making the right decisions at the right time with how to serve them, and just really ensuring that everything is all joined up in terms of value. So this is important stuff. I mean, this really kind of sits at the heart or the core of effective marketing and communications. And it really does. CRM really is at the center, ultimately, of everything that we do. And we often miss that kind of subtle sort of point, really, that this is actually our role. CRM is actually our role. If we're in a marketing function, be it at a senior level or at a tactical kind of delivery level, what we are responsible for is managing, owning, facilitating the customer relationship. So CRM, the technology of streamlined process, using technology to improve profitability, this is at the hub of everything that we do. So what are we actually talking about when we say CRM, a technology or a system? What are we actually talking about here? Okay, well, there's some fundamental, I mean, for me, there's kind of 6 levels, if you like, of CRM that we need to really think about when we're starting to build this concept into our marketing planning and into our marketing thinking. So the first thing is workflow automation. In other words, thinking of specific trigger actions that are based on specific inputs. In other words, if I send you this email and you click on that particular link in that email, something else happens. It triggers some kind of automated response to you. So you've clicked on that link, you might have landed on a particular landing page, for example, and then certain things happen. And because, of course, in an effective CRM system, particularly if this was at 3 a.m. and you're fast asleep in bed, you don't want to be physically getting up to answer that particular email. You want that response to happen in an automated way. And so the customer journey is facilitated in an automatic response way that's triggered actions based on specific inputs. So one of the first concepts here is about workflow automation. So I've talked a lot over recent months about the importance of choreographing a customer journey, that step-by-step process of clicks, of engagement, of calls, of visits, of reading stuff, of consuming things, step-by-step through to get a customer to a certain point in their journey of engagement with you. Well, a CRM system is the thing that will underpin that, but ideally in an automated way wherever possible. Next thing to think about is your third-party integrations. In other words, what kind of systems or processes do you have currently for managing and holding data? So if your CRM system, the thing that's going to choreograph and manage this customer relationship or journey, if it can link in with your billing mechanisms, if it can link in with your data handling elsewhere, things like maybe Dropbox, for example, if it can link in with the allocation of customer sales visits through things like Outlook, so it can automatically, populate a visit or an appointment or a telephone call automatically into individuals' calendars based on who the person is who's making contact with your business, then integrating these kind of third-party sort of softwares or platforms is really important. So if you almost think of your CRM strategy as being the drawing together of all the ways you do business internally with the customer-facing elements too. Point 3 is customer service itself. So integration of all customer contact from marketing to sales. Now, a lot of this, obviously, if you're in marketing, excuse me, is going to be driven by the idea of marketing campaigns and activities and web and digital contact. But of course, that from the customer's perspective is only really the tip of the iceberg, because it may well be that they pick up the phone or they have a salesperson visit or they've got an account handler or account manager who they have a relationship with. So all of these kind of touch points, if you like, within their experience or their journey needs to be part of your CRM system. So the sales visit happens, the data and the feedback from that sales visit is put into the CRM system. The customer receives a newsletter, for example. The timing, the content that was in that needs to be in the CRM system. So you get a view. If you think about this from a customer service perspective, you get a view of all of the contacts, the connections, and the touch points from the customer's perspective. And that's really important, of course, as a marketer, as a communicator, you need to take the customer's perspective. And as an effective CRM system will allow you to do that. And that's really key here. This isn't just about data holding. It's about being able to use that data strategically to understand how the customer is getting experience from us at any point in the journey, at any time of the day or night, through every single touch point. So it really is all inclusive. It really is comprehensive. Point 4 is employee tracking. Now, of course, if you've got a lot of different individuals in different teams having connections or contacts with the customer, it might be post-sale support, it could be some prospect sales visits, it could be marketing campaigns, etc., etc. So lots of different touch points. To be able to cross-reference the customer's experience with who did what and when, who said what, who entered this particular piece of content, who had that phone call, enables you to have this really, really transparent view from an employee perspective of all of your colleagues who did what and who said what and when, so that there will be, obviously a traceability, if you like, of the whole experience down to an individual level. So yes, it's data, but it's also a human element. CRM systems that are really effective have a human element kind of intrinsic within them. Now, of course, point 5 talks about marketing integration here. Now, of course, what you'll be wanting to do if you're a marketer is to link with things like your email system, might be MailChimp, something like that. Obviously, take into account any social media transactions, for example, particularly things like campaign-driven website lead generation. All those kinds of things need to integrate in as well. So whatever kind of platform or systems you're using for your marketing, you have an effective CRM system will bring those into the mix. And of course, when you then get to point 6, which is the analytics and reporting, to have something that is integrated, that's customizable, that is kind of multifunction reporting. So sales get their version on the dashboard, marketing gets their version, the finance team get their version, etc., is really important. So thinking about within your choice of CRM system or strategically how you draw this together, it's really important to think about, okay, what would we want to know? What would we want to learn from the way this is all set up to enable us to make better decisions, to maybe prioritize the most important customers, etc., etc. So analysis and the reporting from that analysis is going to be really important. So even though you might even just think of CRM as being these 6 concepts or these 6 ways of constructing your customer's experience and then managing it through a system or a technology, there's a lot of advantages in just purely these 6 things. But of course, there's more, and the list will go on and on and on. So we need to kind of really think to just kind of keep a grasp on this, because once you open this little Pandora's box, there's so much you can do with CRM. There really is. So we need to kind of really almost sort of rein ourselves back in from the exciting opportunities that this thing is presenting and think, well, okay, where am I going to start to get some kind of early gains or early understanding of the real value if we go down this CRM route as a business, and that's irrespective of your size. You could be a micro business through to a great big corporate multinational. CRM as a concept works at every single level. So what we're looking for here then is, okay, well, where do I begin this kind of journey of tying this stuff together so I can understand the experience we're giving to the customer, so I can manage the relationship more effectively for value for them and value to us? Well, there's 4 kind of building blocks, if you like, within a CRM system. Really what you're doing here is using the sort of operational level, the kind of analytical level, some of the data I was talking about before, thinking about it sort of collaboratively. So this is multi-team, but also strategically as well. So looking at this not just from a, hey, I'm a marketer, I need to run a campaign, but actually thinking, okay, in the longer term, if we're going for that particular marketplace or that particular sector with the kinds of products and services that we've got today, but also that we might need in the future, what kind of data and information flow would we need to help us to refine our business goals and our objectives so we can kind of constantly be using the impact of technology, of our people, of the processes, of this customer data that we're going to be capturing to guide where we're going in the future. And so it will help to inform the strategy. So while strategy, yes, is part of CRM, it also is one of the great beneficiaries of an effective CRM. So if you manage this stuff well, you will be getting data out on the other side that you can evaluate and discuss and collaborate with, that enables you to make really sound business decisions going forward. So it's a tactical level, but it's also at a strategic level. And for me as a marketer, I get quite excited when there's something that's going to give me a win-win-win, because it allows me to manage the customer relationship, which ultimately that's my job. I'm a marketer. But also then if I can make better tactical decisions, but also at the same time actually learn, well, what should I be focusing on for the future? Well, then it helps to kind of feed that future kind of position and mindset as well at the same time. So if you really pay attention to the concept of CRM, it kind of feeds and fuels, your everyday living as a marketer. It really, really does. So the role of CRM in marketing is really, as I said at the start of this, really quite profound. So, it can enhance your customer segmentation and your targeting. So you can, if you're looking deep into your CRM, you can see patterns and you can see trends that will enable you to spot, hey, if I go after that customer segment or this particular profile, this particular persona who always seem to respond in this way, and they like this because they click here. And so you get down to that granular, almost forensic level of data that allows you then to target more effectively. So that's big. That really is really effective. So rather than this one sort of shape or sort of flavor of marketing, you can do multiple flavors of marketing, which in themselves potentially are much more profitable because they're more focused and targeted. But imagine it again from the customer's perspective. It really is going to hit them with the value that they need because of personalization. So the second benefit, really, of the role of CRM in marketing is personalizing marketing campaigns and communication. And of course, that's what it enables you to do. And for me as well, because often the work that I do isn't just purely within marketing. I need to be thinking about ways of more effectively collaborating with sales or with other areas of the business, might be production, etc. Then this allows me to track all of the customer interactions and touch points, which just gives me this kind of sense of the more holistic experience that my customers getting from us as a business, not just purely marketing. Because of course I see that because I own that bit because I'm a marketer. But if I can see the customer's experience after I've finished doing what I do, and seeing how that plays out from the experience at other ends of the business, it might be that I spot opportunities or ways that I could actually maybe then facilitate improvements by working closely with others in the business. So that's a really key thing. That's really interesting in terms of kind of the open opportunities that kind of open up here and really kind of sort of help you to begin to think actually outside of the marketing role in many, many ways. And because you're able to analyze the customer's behavior and their preferences, you're going to be able to optimize any of your kind of lead generation or, customer nurturing processes. Or maybe there's stuff that you can do around customer loyalty or advocacy deeper into that retention phase of their journey. It opens up all these opportunities. So again, can you see why I get excited by the concept of CRM even before we start to talk about, what are the kind of platforms that will enable this kind of integration, enable this data holding, and allow me as a marketer to be able to kind of have a look deep into the data and see what's there, really. So conceptually, that's kind of where we're headed with this. So what we're really looking for here is to kind of see CRM integrating with marketing platforms, because I mentioned that was going to be a really, really key thing here. And really what we're looking for from a marketing perspective is to drive the whole customer journey. And this is kind of fundamental to all of this, drive the customer journey through CRM. Okay, so just think about that for a minute, driving the customer journey through CRM. Because if you haven't plotted the customer journey, all you're doing is data capture. If you don't think of it from the customer's perspective, you're probably going to be led along by sales or your kind of marketing systems that you've already got. So the thing that underpins the integration or the choice of platforms or the kind of way that you take this forward strategically is by knowing the 3 stages of your customer journey that are going to sit underneath the platform that sits above it. So the awareness stage, the conversion stage, and the retention stage. So look into those in depth to kind of figure out kind of where you are really with the planning and the plotting. Does it work? Are there any dead ends in your customer's journey at the moment? Where are the opportunities? Where could you scale up, for example? Which of the tools or approaches could you kind of strip out? And again, reviewing this on an ongoing basis gives you the platform onto which you can then start to think, okay, well, which of the sort of CRM platforms are going to be most appropriate to actually serve this customer journey. So this is important to do first, as I say, because until you've done the customer journey, all you're going to have is a CRM system, which is a kind of almost a blank series of templates or processes that will be very meaningless to you because it gets complicated. It's a load of push buttons. It's a load of fields that you have to complete. And often for marketers, starting from the platform end, rather than thinking about the customer journey, they get swept along by the technology. And it feels a little bit alien because it's not real world. So by beginning with the customer journey, you can then start to ask questions of all of the available CRM and marketing automation platforms that are available to you. And you can start to kind of come at them with questions that you want solving, rather than be almost subservient to the technologies themselves. So for example, Monday Sales CRM, which offers a free 14-day trial if you want to go and have a little sort of dip into this one. So really, really good, sort of very customizable, no coding required. So it's a nice light touch introduction to CRM if you want to go and play with this sort of stuff. But if you do it from the perspective of, okay, I know my customer's journey and I want to kind of see if I can almost manipulate this to kind of fit it into something like this CRM system, then you know where you're starting from. Because if you just go straight into something like that, or Pipedrive, another second option there for you, which again is good first-time CRM, it's got a lot of strong lead tracking. But if you're driven by the technology here, by Pipedrive or Monday Sales CRM, then you're going to be driven by what they feel you should be doing rather than the reality of your customer's journey right now. And it's far better to approach it from, hey, this is what I've got. This is what I want to be replicating in my CRM, not the other way around, if that makes sense. Because if you do this, then it's based on reality rather than this kind of hypothetical sort of coder or developers driven platform that you're then trying to squeeze your customer journey into parts of it. And I will promise you, it will not fit. Okay, so your customer experience is going to be very unique to you and your business. So it's far better to learn that and understand that first, and then choose a CRM platform that allows you to kind of integrate that into it rather than the other way around. And there are many, many others available. You've got HubSpot, again, free options, quite basic. Doesn't really have much kind of forecasting in there, but it's a great marketing automation platform to begin that journey. Others available, things like Capsule, Fresh Sales. Salesforce is the big one. It's one of the big daddies of the whole kind of CRM industry. So very, very detailed. Zendesk, I've given you a couple of quotes already about Zendesk. So a lot are available. These would be the ones, if you're looking to get into this, that I'd recommend you go and have a little look at first. And there are free options available, so you can go and have a little play. But if you come at this, as I say, with your questions first, figure out what it is you want to know to be more effectively able to manage your customer relationships. So get those questions in your mind first, list them out, understand the priorities there, and then go look. Don't just go look. Because Neil said, I've got to look at CRM. Because if you do that, you will get lost. It's a bit like the equivalent, I would say, is when you think about Google Analytics for your website analytics. If you go in with questions about your website you'd like to answer, it's way, way more usable and user-friendly than if you just look in Google Analytics at all the features. Because there's a billion combinations of data in there and you'll never be able to learn all those. So therefore, if you go in with something in mind that you want answered, you're going to at least then be able to pinpoint, hopefully with some accuracy, some of the opportunities and the data available there for you. But the trick is to go and have a little play. That's really what you want to be doing. And that's really kind of what's important here. And then think about, actually, as you go through this, start by asking, what do I want to know? And particularly when it comes to the integration of the data synchronization, and also reporting. So think about, if I had a dashboard, what would that dashboard kind of serve? What would that dashboard kind of say to me? What would I want to see on my dashboard in there? That would be a really important kind of consideration, because ultimately the CRM is only as good as the outputs you're going to get from it. That's where the value comes. The value isn't really in the inputs. Yes, you've got to do the inputs to get the good value, but it is about the outputs. So choosing the right kind of CRM software, ultimately, as you've gone through maybe 3 or 4 of those options that I've given you, there are some sort of checklists of things to then be thinking about to kind of make the decision or to narrow down your options. Certainly setup time is a key one. This list comes from top10.com, and it's a really kind of clever little list, actually, because what it does, it helps you to focus on, making the right decision for the CRM system that you're going to go for, that hopefully is best aligned with your particular business or your particular customer journey. But also be thinking in a practical sense, okay, if I go for something that's very, very big and complex, yeah, I might get lots of value, but the setup time, is it going to be appropriate to the outputs we're looking for here? Is it going to be a system or a CRM that's going to give me some good support? So if I do want to customize things, how easy is it to get a developer in, or how easy is it for them to help me customize it? The ease of use as well. I mean, many CRMs will put a really strong emphasis on, customer-friendly interfaces. So, you can expect that generally. But what you want, I think, as a marketer, and particularly if you're kind of looking to work in association with sales, which is often the way that marketers use a CRM, is that you really want to find one that is going to give you an appropriate data visualization. So when we talked about the dashboard there, what do you want the thing to be reporting, and how do you want it to be visualizing the data? And also really how, in terms of ease of use, how easy is it for people to be inputting to it? Is there, for example, an app version of it that allows the salesperson to enter data when they're out and about, with customers? If they've got literally the thing in the palm of their hand on their phone, that's going to be a lot easier than if it's a very heavyweight system where, they have to do it, in the evening when they get home or something like that, which obviously is not going to be so attractive to them. Things like price clearly come into it. You need to be practical at the level that you want to pitch this at. Most CRMs will offer a free trial, which will, as I said earlier, allow you to evaluate, as with others as well, the kind of the tool and the kind of appropriateness of it. But you really want to find one that really works within your budget. Yes, the more that you spend, probably the more features and depth you're going to be able to go to. But if this is a very early stage concept or idea for your business or for your team, then I'd say start either for free, so start really kind of quite simple and build it organically over time. Most of them are scalable, and they have a variety of different sort of price ranges in terms of the feature sets that you get. So you can always think about, building this over time. And as part of that, think about one that actually allows you to take advantage really of any kind of sort of add-ons. Besides the typical kind of obvious marketing ones that you're going to be thinking about, think about, is this one integrated with the right kinds of other tools? So, if you're using MailChimp, how accessible is the MailChimp API, for example? Can you easily slot and, sort of bolt these particular add-ons in? So think about the integration. And most of the CRM systems will have a page that talks very specifically, even before you commit, on the various other platforms that it will allow and that it will integrate with. So that's really important as you're starting to build something that replicates your customer journey. And also, obviously, other things like customer service and the amount of support that you might potentially need or want for it. Again, look at the reviews. It would be a typical kind of approach that you would take in terms of any kind of sort of software purchase for your business, really. Look at the reviews, look at how people have sort of been using it in the past. And often there will be, on each of these platforms, there will be some really good examples and case studies of other businesses, but hopefully, potentially like yours, who have put that particular CRM to good use. So yeah, you've got to really do your research here. So having established there is a need, decided what the customer journey is that you want to be then replicating within a CRM system, then collaborate across your business to kind of answer some of these questions, to prioritize it really down to where you want to get it to. And then really what you're looking to do here is to begin the integrations. This is all about ensuring that you can actually integrate your kind of marketing strategies and your sort of particular approaches that you're doing in the real world with the practicality of the system that you've chosen. So you're going to be looking at then starting to build in your email tracking. You're going to be putting then any sort of calendar integrations, anything with social media, which should be a relatively straightforward one there. But if you're using something internally within the organization, like say, for instance, Slack, which is a very sort of popular one, or Trello, for example, just making sure that that's all kind of bolted in so that each of the systems, so that nothing is kind of unconnected. So as you've got your CRM, if people are putting data into, for example, Slack, that it automatically feeds or gets picked up by your CRM system. So it's almost like the CRM system is kind of the master, if you like, at the core, and then all of your supporting other services, other ways of communicating internally and externally, that they all kind of feed in. So they're almost like the satellite sort of software or services. And the more you can kind of centralize it in this way, the smoother the operations will run. Okay, so really what you want is put the data in one place, and then it ripples and integrates across the other systems. And that's really what you're after here. So this is a kind of an architectural kind of creation here. So I would say get the flip charts out, get the mind maps flowing, and really plot this stuff out. And you can do this, you know, obviously by yourself, or you can do this in collaboration with others. The more others you get involved in this, the smoother it's going to be when it comes to actually inputting the data. So that's going to be key. So this is it's a collaborative approach, even before you get to the point of really sort of, you know, starting to put some data in there. And a lot of this is really aligning the CRM processes with your marketing objectives. So it's about thinking really about the kind of the APIs that you require. And this will take an investment, and it will take time. You know, this stuff, you know, doesn't come for free. I mean, this is the key thing about a CRM approach, is you have to devote time and energy and thinking and strategy and available bandwidth to this thing. It needs to be part of your monthly meetings, or even more regularly. You need to be playing this up as well as down in the organization, so that everybody kind of gets an opportunity to really understand how their role fits. And as I say, this particularly plays across when you're working in collaboration with a sales team. It needs to work in collaboration, so that any piece of data that goes in, that person knows where that data is going to get picked up. It knows how that piece of data is going to then be interrogated, maybe dispersed around various parts of the CRM, so that, you know, people get a confidence in terms of actually putting high quality data in, because they know that it's going to be evaluated and used in the right way. So the outputs then are going to be high quality. So they always say, you know, good quality data in is good quality outputs on the other side. And it is so true. And that will always ring true when it comes to your CRM. And so then how are you then going to be leveraging the data really that sort of comes through? Well, it's really down to how you're feeling and thinking you're going to be using your CRM to improve this customer journey. So do you see what I'm doing here? I'm just really kind of thinking about CRM, the choice of systems, you know, the technologies, if you like, to really serve the customer journey. And that's really what we're after here. It isn't just a technology for its own sake. This is doing a job for you. Whilst you sleep, whilst others are inputting data, as a marketer, if you own the CRM, it's going to really open up some opportunities for you. You know, you're going to be able to monitor and analyze in ways that you could only have dreamed of in the past. The segmentation and the profiling, I've already talked about that. But what was the point of that? Well, it's very much about personalization. And the detail you want to get in there is the detail that's then going to serve you being able to do even greater levels levels of personalization and customization for your customer. And that's the key, because if you've always got that as your mindset, it isn't just about, hey, we put loads of great quality data in. It's like, well, when we see the reports coming out, how can we use these reports to improve every single touch point that we have with our customer? Because then it could be, you're going to be then sort of, literally doing personalization on, everything from the video content you produce to that next step in the journey, to the landing pages that you create, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's almost that you could argue, well, isn't it kind of fueling in many ways, because the information that we're going to get will help us to actually improve our CRM in itself? And the answer is, of course, yes. So the more you can pay attention to this, and this is why I'm saying it's so important to devote time and attention and to really kind of nurture this CRM, because it's going to serve you, but it will only serve you if you can keep serving it. So this is a really kind of symbiotic relationship. It's almost like you're going to treat this as another member of your team or as a colleague, because it's going to be helping you do your job, but you've got to help it do its job too. So you're working collaboratively with it, both conceptually, but also then actually as a system. So it's exciting stuff. And, you will not be alone. There are many, many organizations already on this journey, some just starting out, some are still working from an Excel spreadsheet, and that is their CRM, all the way through to those who've got, fully featured, fully integrated Salesforce.com, accounts, and, doing amazing things in terms of personalization of the customer journey. I found a very nice little resource for you, crmside.com. I've got a whole range of CRM case studies that are well worth you having a little look at. Some of these are big brands, but some of them are smaller organizations as well. And it really helps you to kind of get a sense of what the opportunities are. So not necessarily that you're going to go and replicate or copy, but just to keep your kind of mind sort of flowing with the opportunity here. So be innovative and play, enjoy experimenting, particularly if this is an early stage for you in the process. It is about having fun with it. This could take your marketing to a whole new level. And just by knowing that and seeing how others have done it, it gives you an opportunity to kind of, really experiment and explore. So that's exciting. Salesforce.com and LinkedIn.com have both got areas where I would recommend, if this stuff is, whetting your appetite, you're getting sort of quite interested in this, that you go away and do some further learning and some further kind of reading. So Salesforce.com have got a CRM Systems area in their learning center. So if you go to salesforce.com/EU/learning center, you can find a lot of the kind of tutorials and the kind of more descriptive ways of taking kind of what I'm talking about here to the next level. And also, if you want to do any kind of courses or certification in CRM. And of course, if you're deeper into the journey and this is a refresher for you, then this might be a nice angle to take, is go and get some CPD hours in LinkedIn.com learning. And there is a very specific topic area, which is CRM software. And if you go and have a look at that, that might also be useful for you. And of course, what that will do is it will open up a whole host of opportunities for you. So I just want to conclude here using Forbes.com article, which I found, which was titled, "How do you leverage data in marketing?" And for me, this just kind of sums up the whole kind of essence of CRM, what we can do with it, where we should be thinking, and almost use this list as a little bit of a checklist as you start to take your thinking forward. So this is about collaboration with solutions. So it's about how can we provide better solutions and value for the customer using the concept of CRM? How can we evaluate market trends? Because we will spot them. And this is going to be quite personal to our business and to our segments and to our personas and customers. We can evaluate market trends from within. So we don't have to rely on a third-party source or watching competitors. Proper leverage of the data in our CRM will allow us to spot really powerful trends, and that's going to inform our decision-making going forward. We're going to identify patterns through machine learning. The systems that we're talking about here, the ones I've shared with you, are getting better and better by the day. There's a little bit of kind of AI stuff going on in the background here that will allow us to just improve upon the improvements. So once you join this kind of community of CRM practitioners, you start to get better and better at an accumulative level. It's not just a flat line of, yeah, okay, we did that and it was okay and it was fine. This is going to just get better over time. So the more that you put in, significantly more value will come in time. You can also then create personalized lead generation messages just by watching at a very specific personalized level. It allows you to spot, particularly if you're doing split testing of campaigns, etc. It allows you to spot the little nuances right down to the single kind of title of a particular sort of email that you've sent out. It allows you to really, really understand, why did that work at that time in that place more than elsewhere? You know, you can really get forensic, and I used that word a little bit earlier, but that's a really, really key way of leveraging the data in your CRM. You can contextualize your data. So rather than just, and I always talk about this, rather than reporting back the numbers or the information to the business, you can report back intelligence. In other words, you can put the data in the context of the wider customer journey as you start to share and collaborate from the dashboards, evaluating the data, and then sharing kind of, what does this really mean? So you can have those more meaningful, those more intelligent, if you like, conversations with colleagues, because your data is contextualized within your CRM as part of the customer journey. So it's not just data, hey, we did this, we got that number of click-throughs, hey, I'm a marketer, aren't I clever? It's like really understanding it, but why? Could we have actually done 10% more if we'd done this? Well, let's model it. Let's look in our CRM and see if there's evidence. And so what it'll do is it'll allow you to really understand and evaluate your customer's propensity to buy. Let's face it, most of us are in a commercial decision-making process pattern here. We're helping our customers to build the faith and the trust in us so they buy more, so that they actually engage with us more, so they get more value from us, so they become loyal. So you can then really properly evaluate when that happens, but also importantly, when it doesn't happen. So your CRM data will be leveraged there, really key, because you're looking here at reducing the churn, so where customers leave for a competitor, and you're looking here at, you know, repeat buying patterns. Why does that particular persona at that particular time, using these particular campaigns that we've done, why are they more receptive to that at that time? The CRM will lead you to those kinds of understandings, if you like, because you're analyzing the customer's true behavior. You're analyzing their experience. You're analyzing all of the touch points. So rather than just thinking of customer journey as being this conceptual thing, yeah, we take our customers through a journey, you'll actually understand how that plays out from your customer's perspective. Now, to me, that's really exciting. That's the real kind of be-all and end-all in marketing, because if I can get it from what I see, my data, but actually what the customer then responded with, the actual behavior, then there's a reality to the concept there that's just, well, it's just so real. And then you can make proper decisions. And so ultimately, what Forbes is saying, but what I would definitely advocate and reiterate, is that we're focusing here on quality over quantity. So when you start to make the choice over which platform, when you start to think, well, which of our other systems and things that we're doing already do we want to integrate in? And, you know, which teams do I need to get involved to put data in here? And which part of the customer journey? Don't try and bite off too much too soon. The trick here is to focus on quality over quantity. Don't try and do everything in one go. Start to, as you're planning and plotting this out, the concept of CRM in your business, start to figure out, okay, where's the low-hanging fruit? Where are the areas where, yeah, we could get some quick wins? Maybe at the same time as, what's our most profound, tricky question that we've failed to answer so far? Is the concept of CRM going to open up an opportunity for us to get an answer for that? So focus on quality, prioritize maybe a quick win, maybe a big strategic thing, and then focus on those. Once you've nailed those, you can then go further down the list and start to add in all the other things that I've been talking about. But the key here is to make sure that you're constantly challenging that customer journey. So you're looking to find ways within this CRM approach of making sure you can almost replicate at a technology and platform level everything that's really happening in the real world. And that, to me, that's the big missing thing, where people say, oh, CRM, yeah, we kind of do it, but it's painful. It's really data heavy. We don't enjoy doing it. It's a bit of a task. They're missing the point of actually where the focus should be. And that is using CRM to really facilitate your customer's journey. Because if you do that, then there's a win for you because you can serve it better. But there's also a win for the customer because ultimately it's all about their experience too.